The term Praetorian comes from the Latin praetor, meaning high-ranking officials. Think of the Roman Praetorian Guard, who were the emperor's personal bodyguard. In the Aliens vs. Predator video game, the Praetorians are boss-level bad guys. They're so because you battle them in more than one campaign. Essentially called the Royal Guards, these big guys are only found in larger hives where the hive and the queen need some additional protection that the regular Xenomorph drones fail to provide. In this video, we will explore everything there is to explore about the Praetorians. So without further ado, let's get started. Who are the Praetorian Xenomorph? Praetorians, or the Royal Guard of the Xenomorph XX-121 species, are the elite squad in a hive. When a hive hits a crowd of over 300, these bad boys are brought to existence on the Xenomorph Queen's orders. They're the muscle who guard the Queen or Empress, and more often than not, you will find a Praetorian calling the shots for the army. These vicious creatures have got this look that's sort of like a mini version of a Queen Xenomorph, but unlike their hive mates, Praetorians usually stick close to home, not really venturing out of their turf. So essentially, they're the big guns you don't want to mess with. What about their appearance? These big guys are known for their massive head crests, kind of like the queens, which they use to ram things when they charge, but unlike the queens, they don't have an extra pair of arms, and their jaws are the usual kind, all metallic and scary. The Praetorians also have these longer, pointy dorsal spines too, which help them stand out from the crowd. Additionally, these Praetorians are massive, easily towering over 10 feet tall and decked out in a dark, menacing black or sometimes a black-blue. Size doesn't slow them down though, they're nearly as quick and agile as their smaller siblings. Always on 2 feet, these brutes don't do the wall or ceiling crawling due to their bulk. Their skin is so thick that it serves as bulletproof armor. They can take hits that would wipe out other Xenomorphs like the drones and would continue to keep on coming. Solo, they can take down squads of human marines or even go toe-to-toe with Yautja in a scrap with zero hesitation. But then again, no Xenos really hesitate from attacking. Praetorians also spit acid in huge amounts and make ample use of their claws and long blade-like tails. They're dangerous no matter how close you get. More intelligent than the lot. They're not just muscle, they've got brains too, sharper than your average Xenomorph. But with their size and power, they don't usually bother with sneaking around. They go in all guns blazing, straight up attacking. Their main job is to guard the queen, and they're totally focused on that. You'll often find them throwing themselves into danger without a second thought. When they're in the thick of it, they let out this ear-splitting screech that calls other Xenomorphs to jump into the fray. And if you manage to take down the Praetorian, it kind of leaves the other Xenomorphs without a leader, which leads to a bit of a confusion mode, giving you a momentary upper hand. The Praetorian Xenomorphs, from creation to evolution. When a hive reaches a population of more than 300 members, the queen finds it rather cumbersome to manage the entire hive alone. So she picks some adult Xenomorphs for a major upgrade. These chosen ones get fed royal jelly by the workers, and that's when the transformation begins to take shape. But of course, with creatures so dastardly, nothing really can be all smooth sailing. These chosen ones start giving off this pheromone that makes the rest of the hive go nuts and attack them. Now this happens because it is important to know which of these chosen few are potent enough to undertake the responsibilities of a Praetorian. Most of the guys do not make it out alive, but the ones that do survive and escape the carnage come out stronger. While they're away from the hive, their bodies start changing big time as they gradually morph into the Praetorian form. Once they've fully transformed and stopped producing that wild pheromone, they head back to the hive, ready to stand by their queen as full-fledged Praetorians. Some say that the Royal Guards are essentially a step before becoming a full Praetorian. So one could say that these guys are like Praetorians in training. Smaller, not as strong, and with a less flashy crest. They still look a bit like warriors, especially in their armor and tails. So it's thought that the Royal Guard phase is just a part of growing up for these Xenomorphs. Kind of like their awkward teen years as they shift from regular adult Xenomorphs to the big leagues of being a Praetorian. So there's this debate about whether Praetorians pick up traits from their hosts like other Xenomorphs, but it's probably not the case because it's the drones will mainly level up to become Praetorians. In a hive, if the queen dies, the Praetorian steps up and morphs into the new queen to keep the hive alive and stop it from being taken over. If they don't transform in time though, another hive can swoop in, take over, and wipe out everything that the old queen built. Take Specimen 6 for instance. It started as a warrior on BG-386, where it munched a ton of royal jelly and evolved into a Praetorian. Later, as its queen got taken down, it went through another change and became a queen itself. Specimen 6 was supposed to be a Praetorian in the Alien campaign, but that idea got scrapped. Types of the Praetorian Xenomorphs. Depending on what the hive needs, the Praetorians can evolve into big bruisers called Ravagers, or into carriers, or like the Uber drivers for facehuggers, and in rare cases, they can turn into Palatines. These are like supersized Xenomorphs and the Queen Mother's personal bodyguards. But these Palatines are pretty exclusive, with only 5 around at any given time. Then we have this other creature called the Crusher, which is like the Praetorian version of a runner Xenomorph. As the name suggests, a Crusher runs at high speeds and rams into its target, totally crushing the target. But when it is running with its head pointed straight, it often leaves itself vulnerable to attacks from the sides. Do you guys remember the Predalien from Aliens vs. Predator Requiem? Some think it's a Praetorian, and it was even called a young queen by the film's directors. Furthermore, in the comics, the Defiance alien from Aliens Defiance is hinted at being a Praetorian in concept art, but it's never confirmed in the comics themselves. However, the first time we see a Praetorian in a canonical sense within the Alien franchise is in Aliens Fireteam Elite. Kinda interesting considering they've been around in the lore for quite a while now. So yeah, that's Praetorians for you. If you're a fan of the Alien and Predator universe, this is the place to be. So hang around with us because we have such sights to show you. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.